A blue hedgehog that's got to go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog. 30 years of varying quality. But what makes Sonic the character and the franchise endure enough to stick around for this amount of time? Is it his Mega Drive era platformers? His Adventure era platformers? Is it a zany Saturday morning cartoon? Is it a less zany Saturday morning cartoon? An OVA, a board game, a kart racing game, a hoverboard racing game, another racing game, but this time he's on foot. A Sonic cartoon, but he's in a band. Now he's a werewolf. Now he's a cartoon where he has a now he boosts an edgy rival with a gun. Sonic an anniversary special. Retro anniversary worst anniversary special. Now he has a scar. A cartoon about party cursed memes. Smash Bros. Another kart race. Blast. Probably another kart race on bad games. A motion picture and much, much more.
So, what does make Sonic good? Seriously, where do I start?
I guess we start at the beginning. Sega was looking for a mascot to rival Mario to help promote the Mega Drive system. They needed him to be cool, they needed him to be 90s. More importantly, Sega wanted to appeal to the Western market, particularly America. So that's how we got Sonic. He's blue, and gotta go fast. Then of course we got the original Sonic the Hedgehog game. The game itself was pretty much the same wherever you played it in the world. But if we look at the Japanese and American designs, we can already see differences. And this trend will continue throughout Sonic's early years. Having different box art designs and marketing for different regions is not uncommon in media, especially in video games in the early 90s. Also considering we're dealing with Sega of America, who decided the Mega Drive needs to be a different name compared to the rest of the world, then it's even less surprising. So already even in this early stage of Sonic's life, depending on where you live in the world, you might have completely different opinions on what Sonic is. If you look at other media outside of the realm of video games, this becomes more obvious. Because in 1993, Sonic got not but one, but two different animated series. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and one just called Sonic the Hedgehog. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was a wacky slapstick comedy, where Sonic causes trouble for Dr. Robotnik, and we also get some choice PSAs.
That's no good. Good.
And in Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic is a freedom fighter trying to stop Dr. Robotnik's robot army. This series is way more story driven compared to the more gag orientated Adventures of series. Also in 1996 there was a Japanese produced OVA series, where Sonic has DBZ styled fights with Metal Sonic. So in the video about what makes Sonic good, I haven't really talked about the games. Well, the games from the Mega Drive era are good, and came out in the right time and place to make Sonic a franchise that's still around to this day. The main reason I'm talking about the media around Sonic is that the games don't give you much in terms of story, world building and tone. We have a vague idea of what Sonic's demeanour is like from those Mega Drive games, but there are a lot of gaps left to be filled in that perspective. That's where the other media comes in. But even in the mid to early 90s, the different interpretations could easily make someone's personal interpretation of what Sonic is start to splinter from one another. As the 90s rolled on, Sega released a new home console, the Sega Saturn.
64ビット級ゲームマシンセガサターン地球新発売 Sega.
And with a new home console, one might expect a new flagship Sonic game for said console. But that would not happen. That game would have been Sonic Extreme, but it was cancelled. The Saturn did get Sonic R, a Sonic racing game, and an enhanced version of Sonic 3D. It also got Sonic Jam, a collection of Sonic Mega Drive games with a 3D hub section. A taste of what could have been. Also around this time there was Sonic Underground, another Sonic cartoon series. But this time Sonic's in a band with his siblings, and they made a vow their mother would be found. Or something like that. But as the 90s were coming to an end, Sonic already had been given a lot of different takes. But with a new console on the horizon, Sonic was about to finally make the jump into 3D. Sonic eventually released on the Sega Dreamcast, and was a very important milestone to Sonic's cultural identity. Sonic and Friends got some redesigns to help make the jump to 3D. Another important thing about the game is it was the first with cutscenes, not some little story scenes like we got in Sonic and Knuckles, but fully animated and voiced cutscenes, for better or worse.
You know nothing, fool! It's Chaos, the god of destruction!
Whatever you say, Eggman.
This was the first Sonic game where the story was at the forefront. Sonic Adventure would get a direct sequel called Sonic Adventure 2, also released on the Sega Dreamcast. Media outside of video games started to come under the influence of the Sonic Adventure series. The Archie Sonic comic series was based on Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon series. The Archie comic series adopted the adventure designs. There was also a new Sonic cartoon called Sonic X, which used the adventure designs. They also eventually adapted stories from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. With the success of the Adventure series, it would seem Sonic had transitioned somewhat successfully into 3D, at least for now. The Adventure series also brought many new fans. This was especially true of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. With Sega abandoning its home console business, many of Sega's IPs would now be going to other consoles to find whole new possible markets. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle would be one of Sega's first attempts at such. Many fans, new and old, enjoyed the Adventure series, but many who grew up on the 2D Sonics wanted it to return to its roots. Luckily for them, there would be a new 2D Sonic game arriving for the Game Boy Advance, simply called Sonic Advance, which returned Sonic back to his Mega Drive inspired gameplay. There would be a total of 3 Sonic Advance games, but leaving the handheld space, there would be a new 3D Sonic game called Sonic Heroes, which was sort of a sequel to the Adventure games, but with the gimmick of controlling 3 heroes at once. By switching leader you could do certain things. For example, you'd use Sonic for speed, Tails to fly, and Knuckles to punch things. Heroes would fix some of Adventure's problems, but also create some of its own. Heroes would be the first Sonic game that was designed to release on all the home consoles at the time, the PS2, the Xbox, and the GameCube. The next Sonic game would not have Sonic as a playable character. This game would be Shadow the Hedgehog, a game starring Sonic's edgy new rival that was first introduced in Sonic Adventure 2. The gameplay would be similar to Sonic's gameplay from the Adventure games, but with some new exciting features such as Shadow being able to drive cars, shoot a gun. The game would also feature branching story paths. The guns and story paths wouldn't appear in another Sonic game again, but Shadow-driven vehicles would be in the next game. Sonic the Hedgehog was released on the PS3 and Xbox 360 in 2006. I will be referring to this game as Sonic 06 going forward, as not to confuse it with the original. Sonic 06 was Sega's big leap to the next generation. Well, at least it was meant to be. Sonic 06 had a lot of similarity to the Adventure games, but had a lot of issues and some questionable design decisions. And let's also say some questionable story choices. Most of the problems came from rushing the game out. Sonic 06 probably needed another year of development time. The game was not very well received and sort of ended up becoming a laughingstock. Shadow the Hedgehog was released a year earlier, and had a mixed response and some technical issues of its own. But Sonic 06 had a lot higher expectations and much bigger problems. I think this is the start of the period where Sonic's reputation started to become muddled. Let's stop this little retrospective, talk about Sonic's reputation. Well, in terms of Sonic's game quality, from the old modern perspective, it'd be fair to say that Sonic games are considered at best hit and miss in the modern context. But up until the mid-2000s, most of what people count as the mainline Sonic games were commercially and critically successful. There were a lot of bad games, but most of them were spin-off games up to that point. I'm looking at you, Game Gear Games. But this mid-2000s period is when Sonic's reputation truly started to turn sour. So after the black mark that was Sonic 06, where was Sonic to go? Well, as always, it had several projects on the bounce. In the handheld space there would be the Sonic Rush series, which was sort of a continuation of the Advance series. There'd also be a Sonic RPG made by BioWare, released on the DS. It sucked and no one really talks about it. There would be a series of Sonic games in the Wii called the Storybook games. I hear people like the first one, which is called Sonic and the Secret Rings. The second one is called Sonic and the Black Knight. Sonic has a sword in that game, or something, I don't know. I haven't played that one. This gameplay was different than the other Sonic games, because it was on rails. But the next big Sonic game was called Sonic Unleashed, and of course had a new and exciting gimmick. That gimmick was Sonic now turned into a werewolf. So that means there are two distinct forms of gameplay. They would be called day and night stages. In the nighttime stages you play as a werewolf because you know the full moon or something. This gameplay takes the form of brawling with some platforming elements. But the daytime stages in Sonic Unleashed more closely resembles that of other Sonic games. To be more accurate, Unleashed mixed a lot of elements from other Sonic games. To make them more stable, Sonic Unleashed received mixed response upon its release. People didn't really enjoy the nighttime levels, but they sure liked the daytime gameplay. This gameplay would stick around for a fair few games. And that it did with Sonic Colors, which played just like the Unleashed Sonic stages, but without those pesky, old crusty werewolf stages. Sonic Colors was fairly well received and even got a re-release most recently, and in typical Sonic fashion hardly had any technical issues on its release. As Sonic approached the end of 2000, Sonic would have a smaller scale game made as a download exclusive. This would be called Sonic Hedgehog 4 and was meant to be a throwback to the Mega Drive style of Sonic games. It was going to be released episodically. It got 2 episodes before quietly fading away. This is mostly because it failed to scratch that classic Sonic itch, by using a more modern Sonic design and giving Sonic a homing attack, something that's more of a 3D Sonic staple, and just generally having gameplay that failed to compare to classic Sonic. So as you've all seen, the 2000s was a most turbulent ground for Blue Blur. The 90s Sonic story and setting could be all over the place depending on the medium. The games are fairly consistent, but in the 2000s, Sonic's story and setting were starting to get fairly consistent themselves, or maybe not so much in the end. But Sonic's games were starting to get all over the place, with Sonic changing its core gameplay fairly often. Also, I'm forgetting to mention there was a racing game on hoverboards at some point, but Sonic did have some very dedicated fans, as we're about to see. Sonic fans are very dedicated and make lots of fan drawings videos, and a lot, and I mean a lot, of original characters. But one of the main things I like to talk about is the Sonic fan games. As we went through the 2000s and the internet is becoming more of a regular thing, we started to see an abundance of Sonic fan games that range from ROM hacks, remakes, and some entirely new concepts. These are the people who had an idea of what Sonic should or could be, and some of these people will be important later on. So as we left the 2000s into the 2010s, Sonic's 20th anniversary is swiftly spin-dashing closer. How would the event be celebrated? Well, that would be a new game of course, a game called Sonic Generations. In this game you play as modern Sonic and classic Sonic. Modern Sonic's gameplay would still be using the same Unleashed style of gameplay, while classic Sonic would be playing similar to the Mega Drive Sonic games. It did a much better job doing the style of the Sonic 4. Sonic Generations was very well received by fans new and old. Things were starting to look up to the Blue Blur. It seems Sonic was truly making his way out of those murky waters. But remember, this is Sonic, so that probably wouldn't happen.
If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably false.
Sonic would experiment with some new gameplay in Sonic Lost World, to mixed responses. There'd also be a new Sonic multimedia project called Sonic Boom, with a fancy new design, games, and a TV show. Sonic Boom was looking to redefine Sonic. Well, Sonic Boom released on the Wii U and was another buggy, rushed mess. People did like the TV show and I hear the handheld games were okay, but Sonic Boom's failure was yet another black eye for the franchise. And doom the rest of Sonic Boom's projects to peter out. As Sonic approached its 25th anniversary, 2 new Sonic games were announced. This event also had a little celebration concert that went well.
See ya! Sonic Heroes! Watch right here, right here.
The first game released was Sonic Mania. This game was a throwback to the Mega Drive games made by Sonic fan game developers. This is a game that many Sonic fans have been clamouring for, and is very well executed. Sonic Mania was a massive success on all fronts. How about the other game announced, Sonic Forces? Sonic Forces is sort of a sequel to Sonic Generations. It uses the same concept of playing as modern and classic Sonic. But now you can play as a third character, your OC. That's right, after years of people making their own original characters, now you can finally do it in game. Here's the character I made. But is the game good? Well, it's generally considered underwhelming. The OC gameplay is not that interesting, the gameplay and level design is not as good as Generations, and the game is generally not as focused as Generations. So that's the last Sonic game that's been released up until now. Well, there might be some mobile phone games, I don't know. They did release another Sonic kart racing game. They've released a few of those I haven't talked about. I didn't mention a lot of the Sonic spin-offs, as there are a lot of them, like Sonic the Fighters, which you can now play as a minigame in Lost Judgment, if you want to give that a go. They also made a Sonic movie which was better than it probably had any right to be. They did have to redesign Sonic, no idea what they were originally thinking. So what does the future hold for Sonic? Well, we're getting a second Sonic movie, in which Idris Elba promises Knuckles won't be sexy. Netflix is making a Sonic show called Sonic Prime. The new big Sonic game is called Sonic Frontiers, which is going in a more open world-like direction. But whatever happens in the future, it's always best to temper expectations. So what does make Sonic good? Well, for you personally, it depends on what Sonic things you've been exposed to and when. Sonic has been many things to a lot of people, almost from its very beginning. But I do feel the ideas that do carry over are a fun world and characters. A little bit of a rebellious streak, also good music. Sonic almost always has good music, even the bad games. But what might make Sonic good? Maybe making good stuff consistently? I know good and bad are subjective, but other big gaming franchises that have been around this long and are this big don't have this problem. So please, let's try and get more hits than misses in the next 10 years.
Well, I've talked enough now. Goodbye, I guess. Think of it. Please. Like and subscribe.